could have been a contender. I could have been somebody.
On the Waterfront, released in 1954, and is directed by Elia Kazan, who's behind such amazing pictures like Gentleman's Agreement, East of Eden, and A Streetcar Named Desire.
Stella!
And this film stars Marlon Brando, Carl Malden, Lee J. Cobb, and Eva Marie Saint. And this film comes as a recommendation from one of my followers, one of my subscribers, one of the more active people on my social media, The Owl Reviewer. Thank you very much. I have never seen this movie, and boy, was that a joy. Terry Malloy is a former boxer, but is now a dock worker, and he's also working for the mob for Johnny Friendly. And one night he sets up fellow dock worker Joey Doyle to be hit by the mob.
I just thought they were going to rough him up is all.
And with the death of Joey, brings in his sister Edie, played by Eva Marie Saint. And also finds the attention of Father Barry, played by Carl Malden. These two try to convince Terry and the fellow dock workers to stand up against the mob and Johnny Friendly. Yep, the mob wins, and everyone goes home unhappy. See, everybody? No, this film doesn't have a sad ending, and I wouldn't even say it has a happy ending. It has a triumphant ending, a very noble, a very chest-pounding ending. And like I said in my last review, this is my first time viewing On the Waterfront, and thank God I finally got to watch it, because this film is excellent. And my first compliment goes to the musical score. Watching this film and watching the orchestra in the background, just listening to it, it was beautiful, it was amazing, and I was sick at the time that I watched this, and this just uplifted me. I loved listening to this film. And then I looked up the composer of this film, and of course, it's Leonard Bernstein, the guy behind West Side Story. So of course this is amazing. But the score, it overcompensates a lot of time. It's melodramatic, it's big, it's bombastic, and I love it. You don't hear scores like that anymore. You get very traditional, very straightforward pieces now. You don't have something as complex and as beautiful and as, in my opinion, original as we got with Leonard Bernstein here. Ooh, I'm probably gonna get some flack on that one from the music people out there. Whatever, it's my review! But Marlon Brando, hailed as one of the greatest actors of all time in the history of cinema, and thinking about it, I have not watched that many Marlon Brando films. Streetcar Named Desire, which Kazan also directed, of course I've seen that. The Godfather films, the first 10-15 minutes of Superman the movie, I don't recall anything else that I've seen him in. That's something that I need to do. I need to watch more Marlon Brando movies. That's what's inspired me. Thank you very much, Owl Reviewer. You recommended this film. I'm gonna watch more Marlon Brando movies. But Marlon Brando, he has this way about him. He conducts himself as like your stereotypical leading man, but there's also a very vulnerable side to his performances. There is a vulnerability, there is an innocence behind these tough guy characters that he plays. Terry Malloy, a former boxer, he's working for the mob, yet he's almost ashamed of that. Probably ashamed of how he threw his last fight because the mob told him to. Terry, he's just this kid, he's not the brightest, he typically does what his brother wants him to do. His brother also works for the same mob. He's in a higher tier in the society, but he never stands up for himself. He's always doing what he's told. He's a follower. He's not a leader. So if his brother Charlie said, hey, go beat up that guy because they didn't pay the other day, or, go tell him to go up to the roof, that way we can, mess him up a little bit, he would go and do it. He doesn't have a spine. He doesn't have the guts to stand up and say, no, I'm gonna do what I want, which is what makes the ending of this film so fist-pumping. And that being said, actually, no spoilers here, but the ending, it caught me by surprise because I thought this film was gonna end several different times and it just kept going, which I was okay with. Carl Malden, I really liked as the priest here. The stereotypical priest character about how, oh, this is God's will. God did not want any of you to do this. Why pay money to that man when you should be working for each other? He has a ton of sermons on the mounds in this film, and it's very inspiring to look at. Lee J. Cobb as Johnny Friendly. I love Lee J. Cobb. He is one of my favorite classical actors. I loved him here. I love him in 12 Angry Men. He is just spectacular. He is breathtaking in 12 Angry Men, and I really liked his performance here. Johnny Friendly, he's a character that if you do right by him, you'll be fine. He will like you. He will treat you well. But you cross him, you say the wrong thing, you disrespect him, he'll slap you up a bit, because that's what this mob stands for. It stands for order. Stands for respect. Good thing he wasn't around a couple of decades later when the Joker came around. And Eva Marie Saint, the lovely Eva Marie Saint, I really like her here. She has the stereotypical damsel in distress or the femme fatale character of the movie. Why in these classical pictures that the female characters feel that they have to be very melodramatic and over the top with their emotions and their sadness, I will never know. Oh, Terry, I gotta find who killed Joey. Ah! Not just her. It's every single character. Every single one. Why is that? That's okay, I forgive it. I really like Eva Marie Saint here. She plays a nun, or at least she plays someone who is training and studying to be a nun. But you can tell that she starts developing these feelings and this relationship with Terry, and she starts, questioning her future choices. Yes, I want to devote myself to God and my religion, but there's this man who I'm starting to fond over and starting to fall in love with.
Oh, what little does she know.
But this film is widely known. The most famous scene from this movie is the car scene with Charlie and Terry. Johnny Friendly doesn't like how rebellious Terry is becoming in his organization, so he gives Charlie a ultimatum. Either you take him out of town and never to come back again, or you shoot him. You shoot your brother. It's a beautiful, well-written scene. The lighting that is coming through the windows and the shutters, I absolutely love. It's perfect. It's perfect for this environment. And then when Terry realizes what Charlie is doing, just the breakdown, the pleading, not even pleading, but just the connection that he's trying to establish with his brother. Where we get the famous line,
Charlie, I'm sorry. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody.
I love that scene. I've always seen those lines delivered, just a little tiny clip. I've never watched the entire scene, and just putting it into context, I love this. Just something about those classic black and white pictures like this, or like 12 Angry Men, that just through the dialogue, through the stories, and through the characters, you connect with, and you feel the emotion, you feel the storylines just deep down in your gut, and you feel connected to this. The cinematography I love here, the different angles, the background silhouettes that you see, the silhouettes of people in the foreground, I absolutely love. Owl Reviewer, this is a wonderful film. Thank you very much for recommending this. And if any of you haven't seen it, I absolutely recommend it. Yes, it's a black and white picture. It's a classic, but I am telling you, you are absolutely going to love it. I'm going to give On the Waterfront 5 out of 5 Blu-rays. Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part in my videos where I randomly select which movie I'm going to be watching next, so let's take a look. Nope. A film that killed a franchise that was going to beautiful new heights, killed it dead. That sparked a reboot, that sparked another reboot within like a 10-year time span. Spider-Man 3. So this movie, it's tricky with me because I remember, every time I watch this movie, I remember, and I see it on screen, how terrible and how disappointing and how blasphemous this film is to the character of Spider-Man and then just comic book films in general. And I don't watch it for several years, and then like 2 or 3 years later, I think, I'm thinking back to Spider-Man 3, and there were some cool things in it. I don't think it's as bad as I remember. And then I pop it in, and I'm immediately reminded, oh yeah, that's right, this film's awful! Sam Raimi had an amazing first going with the first Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, only to have it crash land, like, not even gloriously. This is humiliating with Spider-Man 3. And this is a great example of how studio interference can affect the storytelling device that is film. Sam Raimi had one idea, he wanted to go with the Sandman, he wanted to do his own thing, and the studio said, no, this is a trilogy, this is the third one, you gotta put Venom in here. Why? Well, because it's Venom, he's the most popular Spider-Man villain, the people know him, and they really want him, so you're gonna put him in there. And I think Sam Raimi decided, okay, I'll throw him in there, and I'm not going to give two shits. Film's bad. I'm not looking forward to watching it, but We'll talk about it next time. So do you have a recommendation of a film that you want me to review on here? If you do, please leave your comment below this video or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter. Leave your recommendation there, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a shout out here on the channel. And don't forget, we are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2019, and of course, if we do, I'm going to torture myself by watching, reviewing, and record myself watching Arachnophobia, which is about a species of a type of arachnid. Well, it's arachnid. It's not an insect. It's an arachnid. Don't want to piss anybody off there. But it's about spiders. I don't like spiders. I don't want spiders at all in my life. I know that they're good for the environment. I know that they're good for like insect control and things like that. I just, don't want them anywhere in my circle. So hit the subscribe button, tell your friends to hit the subscribe button. Let's hit 1,000. That way I can torture myself for you. So everyone, have you seen On the Waterfront? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, please comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And make sure you hit that subscribe button so you know the next time I post my next movie review. So everyone, I will see you next time with my review of Spider-Man 3. In the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.